Ever wonder how to scale your house flipping and wholesaling business without having a large team or sacrificing the things that you actually love to do, like spending time with your family and friends? Tony Michael breaks it down in this interview. Not only is he a serial entrepreneur, he's a house flipper, real estate investor, and hard money lender. We break down on how he has been able to raise over $70 million throughout his career and still maintain a work-life balance. Check out the interview.
Welcome to Real Estate Experts. Join us to democratize the secrets to real estate for everyone, everywhere. Thank you for being here. Let's see what our experts have to say today.
Thanks so much for hopping on the show today, man. I really appreciate it, man. You got a lot of, you have an abundance of knowledge. Actually, a colleague linked us up together. And today I just really wanted to dive in on your personal strategies and what you're seeing in the market. But before we do that, are you open to sharing a little bit about your story and how you got to where you're at today and kind of what you're involved in?
Yeah, man. First off, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak, and I've been following your content for a while. So love the stuff that you're producing, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm 29 years young. Started my real estate investing career about 4.5 years ago. Man, it's been a roller coaster since I started, brother. It's been a lot of learning curves and a lot of learning points that I'm willing to share with your guests, but or your watchers. But originally started in New Jersey. I think my wife and I were on a way back from a vacation in North Carolina, and we found Bigger Pockets. Ran through 9.5 hours of Bigger Pockets podcast and listening to all the stuff that they produce, and man, it just got a burning sensation in my brain. I'm just like, man, I gotta I'm in a limbo. I gotta figure out this W-2 thing. I don't want to do this forever. It's not for me. I'm more entrepreneurial spirited. And I just kind of took it all from there, man. Filled my funnel full of information and knowledge that I could use for real estate investing. And then with that weaponized information that I had, I was able to take down key opportunities that presented themselves over the next 4 years up until this point, which has been one of my strong points, networking and building relationships with people. But 4 years ago, got 30 plus deals done. Excuse me. About $70 million in hard money loans funded in the last 3.5 years. I've done some reverse wholesaling, some flipping, some BRRRR, some Airbnb, some corporate rentals. I've done a little bit of everything. Mainly fix and flips is what we focus on, just because initially I was in a pretty big capital building stage for my company to reinvest and start that train momentum. Initially I started with $15,000, and now we're rolling with private money, and I got money coming everywhere. Also have money going out everywhere. So the good and the bad.
It's crazy how I think there's this huge misconception, when you said you got money coming out of everywhere. I think there's this huge misconception that, yes, we can make a lot of money doing real estate flips and investing in real estate. But the biggest thing is cash flow management, at least in my experience. It comes in, it goes out is easy. Sometimes in the blink of an eye. So they say never to go to lunch with a real estate investor because they never have cash. So
no, and one thing I want to touch on is I feel like a lot of times when people get started in real estate, they want to go, 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 go. I want to do 20 deals this year. 20 deals is possible, but you also have to be realistic with yourself. Set the precedent for you to build upon. Like, get that base layer figured out first. Get your first couple deals knocked out. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't start borrowing other people's money before you know what you're doing with your own. And then scale from there. It wasn't until recently where I was comfortable enough to go take on more than 2 or 3 projects at a time. I think we have seven projects going on currently, but man, it was a struggle the first year and a half, 2 years, where I wanted to go, 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 but there was that little voice in my head saying, "Hey, let's grow organically. Let's take this easy. We don't have to get rich overnight. We have a mouse to feed at home. Obviously, I don't have any kids, but I didn't want to let my wife down, and and then ultimately let myself down. So grow organically, don't force it.
Man, I love that, bro. I actually took a little note on that because I do see a lot of people, and I think we live in an age where everything is like really seems to be expedited with social media and the exposure to those things, and it may seem as if you're behind or left on the curb, but in actual reality, like you're right where you need to be. So great, super great point, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Um, Yeah, how has your business been evolving over the course of this kind of economic shift?
Yeah, so if we're talking about the real estate front, the real estate investing front, man, I've been really blessed with great business partners and the ability to find off-market deals. Man, we buy deep. When I say deep, we're like 50 or 60% leveraged after rehab. We buy
That's
deep,
great.
deep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So a lot of people are freaking out about this market. All this market's doing is teaching you what your buy box should be all the time. Nothing is guaranteed. People that were buying 90% or 80% LTV deals are really are it hurts me to say this, but they're really seeing why real estate in '08 crushed so many people, right? And I'm
Mhm.
not saying this is '08, but we are in a market correction. We can all agree on that. And it obviously is a per market basis, which we'll go into on the hard money side a little bit later. But what I'm doing now is the same thing I've been doing for the last 4 years. I'm buying great real estate deals, period. It doesn't matter if we're at 8%, 10%, 15% interest. I hope and pray to God we never get there. But I'm buying great real estate deals and I'm being patient. I do not have to do 100 deals a year to be financially free. I want to rewind that. We don't have to do, and nobody has to do 100 deals a year. That is a choice. When you want to elevate and scale your company to that point, that is a choice. Cool. My financial freedom, my time availability, my why is all dictated by how much profit I can make on a single flip that's in and out easy and is low risk and low leverage, right? So if I do 5, 6, 7, 8 deals a year, I ain't nothing special, man. I'm just a real estate investor and I'm just out here trying to make money. And my why might be different from other people's, but for me, time and family and freedom are, I mean, that's the majority of my why. There's other intricacies to that, but I'm still full-time active duty military. So uh, the whole reason why I started in real estate was to replace my Coast Guard income with real estate income. And once we did that, now I know I haven't elevated my living standards. I don't live month to month, paycheck to paycheck. I still live very humbly, very modest, very frugal person. Um, Everything after that's gravy, man.
Man, that's great. Through the process of discovering a why, did you always have that inkling in the back of your head about knowing what your why was, or was that a process? And if it was a process, what would you kind of share with individuals that are looking to discover their why?
Yeah, great question, man. I love where it's going to because this is more of a mindset thing than anything. So I feel that initially I didn't have a why. I did have a why, but it was the wrong why. My why was um, I want to make more money, right? Everyone in some capacity is monetarily driven, at least initially, right? And then maybe it becomes a movement or something for a family, like a generational wealth tool or you know what I mean? Something like that. The why becomes bigger, right? But everyone initially has a monetary goal or gain set out to why they want to do something. It's only when you discover, hey, I love what I'm doing. Now I'm going to do this to a more completed factor or a more completed state, which encompasses, uh, growing to this point where I can achieve these sets of goals now. And in these sets of goals for me was my why. Hey, why am I wanting to make more money? We're making more money now. Why am I wanting to reinvest the money? Oh, it's because I don't want to. work a 9 to 5 anymore. I want to be able to leave the military and travel and spend time with family and you know, do whatever the heck I want, man. That's a freedom everyone has that is just it's overlooked most often. Like, why are we here? You know, what kind of purpose do we have to fulfill? That's what I started getting into my head. It's like, hey, why am I here? What am I doing this for? Why do these opportunities keep presenting themselves to me that nobody else is talking about? Why am I a hard money lender? Why are we on this conversation right now? We resonated because you had great energy, right? I learned more about myself, finding out my why, and then became more of an educated thinker on uh, how to get to that why in business.
Wow. Wow. I love that, man. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, of course.
When it comes to the real estate investing side, were you doing real estate investing first and then hard money lending? Because you do, commercial lending and hard money lending for single family
Yep.
residences. Were you doing that simultaneously, or did you kind of fall one into the other?
So almost simultaneously, I kind of created the opportunity for myself. This comes back into that knowledge layer in the hustle, man. Like, there's no silver platter. People need to realize that you're gonna work. You gotta want it. Nobody's gonna want it for you. You have to want it, right? That was my thing. Was I wanted it more than I ever. The fire was insane, man. I was, bro. The first 2 years of my business, I didn't even sleep. You know, I was just grinding and grinding and grinding. I'm not saying everyone should do that. Because eventually, I'll share a little bit later if we have time. My burnout period. But I was grinding and grinding and executing on every opportunity that came across my plate. Right. So simultaneously, almost simultaneously, I was real estate investor and hard money lender. The whole way that came about was when I was stationed in New Jersey. I had a neighbor across the street who I became pretty good friends with. He was home one day when I got home from work, and he was smoking a cigar with his shirt off in his front yard with a headset on, just watering his plants and stuff. I was like, dude, either this guy's retired or he's nuts, you know, like mentally ill. Nobody's in the middle of winter at 12 o'clock. This guy's out in his yard. So I say, hey man, what's going on? Well, you know, what do you got? You know, what do you do? You know, like, I want to do what you do. This looks great. You know, I want to do this. He's like, oh, I'm a hard money lender. And about that time, I was getting my way through my first deal. I probably got the timeline skewed because I told the story so many times, but I did my first flip, and then when I was going into my second deal, or trying to find my primary residence, I was learning about hard money. So I'd already completed a flip. I made 100% return on investment, which is insane. I put 15 grand in, I got 15 grand back out plus my initial. So that was amazing. Beautiful first deal, in and out of the project in like 90 days, crushed it, right? And I got a couple buddies in the Coast Guard that helped me achieve that. But right after that, we bought our primary residence. It was a pre-foreclosure using our VA loan. Since I'm military, it's, you know, no money down. As long as you pass inspection criteria, you're good to go. So we bought that house with like $30,000 or $40,000 in equity. When I got to that house, that inherently created another fire. It was like, okay, now we're doing a live-in flip, right? I'm upgrading the kitchens, the bathrooms, whatever, all the add value spaces, right?
Right.
And then I was finding my current business partner now in Clearwater. Like, all this is happening simultaneously. I remember specifically, I came home from work. The hard money lender that I work with now was funding my first deal in Clearwater with my other business partner. And I told him, I said, he didn't know about Bigger Pockets. And if anybody's listening right now, Bigger Pockets is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, real estate investors network in the world. If you're not on there, you're missing out.
Absolutely.
The hard money lender wasn't on Bigger Pockets. They weren't advertising, their company page wasn't there, nothing. So I called the hard money lender that was funding my loan. I said, hey bro, we had kind of like built a rapport. I'm from North Carolina, so I got a little country blood in me, and he's also country. So we kind of shared that aspect. So I felt comfortable having this initiating conversation with him. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I think I can bring your company value. I had sort of a sales background from my parents owning a furniture store growing up. So I kind of had that banter between client and or for my customers and negotiation stuff and how to talk to people, how to come across. And I told him, I said, listen, let me bring you to Bigger Pockets. And in every lead that comes through, I want a commission on. I want a half a percent, and I want you to pay me a marketing salary to do the marketing on Bigger Pockets, 1,700 a month. And dude, I was like so scared saying this to them because he could tell me pound salt, and then I'm out an opportunity, right? Dude,
Right.
5 seconds, yes, run with it, do your thing. Here's the company logo. Let me know when we're up and running. Send the leads to me. That was $70 million in hard money loans ago.
Holy crap.
Crazy, bro.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
crazy.
Yeah, imagine if you wouldn't have asked, right? Like imagine if you wouldn't have asked, like where, like what path that would have taken. But you asked, right? And you said that
Yep.
you were so scared to ask for $1,700. And I think through the process of like real estate itself is I think people get caught up on like actually doing something, like actually finding the flip or actually talking to sellers or actually asking for the sale. Then they get caught in this like kind of analysis paralysis state. So it's super dope that you like took the leap and you were like, yo, this is something that I want to do. You were inspired by your neighbor, and now you're hard money lending. How cool is that? You had mentioned a little earlier about, when you first got into real estate investing, you, much like me, it was something that I was incredibly passionate about. And it sounds like you were too. So you were diving into the books, you were diving into Bigger Pockets and like learning. And you said that you didn't get any sleep. Is that still the case? Like, does that fire still burn inside of you for real estate? Or have you found that real estate was a vehicle to get to the next level for you? And you had mentioned burnout. What happened there?
So, I love that you asked that question, man, because I still am very passionate about real estate, more so passionate about teaching other people about real estate, right? We all have that initial bonfire for the projects and that slowly trickles over time. It's funny. I asked my business partner, we were selling a house, we were gonna make like 100 grand, right? And it was like 2 or 3 days before closing. I said, dude, are you excited to get this check, man? Like, man, we're gonna make some money, right? And he's like, nah, just another number. I was like, what the
Yeah.
hell's wrong with you, dude? Like, how can you not have that feeling? 20 something deals later, I'm getting to that point. I'm still very excited about. Here's the bad part, and this is what I'll tell your
Peeps,
your
the
peeps.
viewers.
Yeah. Um, be in the market that you're investing in. Get in the projects. Get film content. Be in and with the projects. I am ever grateful for my scenario, and I'm very lucky to be in the position that I am today. But man, if I could have done something different, which my cards are kind of stacked against me being in the military and always moving around anyways, so I had to land on something, right? Um, be in the area that your properties are, man, because that'll keep you motivated. It's super cool for me to get up there, because I live in Fort Lauderdale. All my flips and stuff are in Clearwater and St. Petersburg, Florida, about 3.5 hours away. And man, it feels so good to get up there and film content and see the finished product and see like where it started and where it's at now, and walking other prospective investors through my deals and showing them what can be done. And it's super cool, man. Um, the fire still burns, bro, but the fire is transitioning to I want to teach others how to find this fire. Because once you have it, bro, it's just such a driving factor. Like like I said, I wasn't sleeping because I was excited. You know what I mean? Like the will to want to succeed and not knowing where this potential goes, is what and I say not sleeping lightly. Like I was working a lot. I'm still getting sleep, but my mind was racing with the thoughts of success and what this could
Yes.
be, right? And it still does in different capacities. Now, you said,
Mhm.
is this an end all be all? No. I think as humans, we always have to keep progressing. I think if we start from the beginning and we automatically reach the finish line and become ultra wealthy, then nothing else appeals to us, right? What more do you want? We have to enjoy the journey. And that journey might drop off a couple revenue streams and then add new ones or different opportunities or perspectives and how we're looking at stuff, right? Do I want to be in single family real estate forever? No. I want to get into commercial stuff. I want to be more hands off. I want to build a community of people who can learn from me to do the same things that I did. I'm 29 years old. I have a ton of time ahead of me, right? Commercial and hard money lending is just too easy for me to give up at the moment. Um, I don't know any other job you can make a phone call and make 110 grand, which is what's happening on one of our and I don't say that to to boast because that's a unicorn deal, but that's pretty fucking cool, bro. I don't know if I can cuss on
It
here.
is, dude. It's pretty
if I
bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
if I close a
So
$20
rad.
million ground up construction loan, I make 110
It's
grand.
nice money, man. You
Crazy
know.
stuff, dude. So that's still exciting me because then I can take that money and reinvest it. So now that
Yes.
return on
Yes.
time, I'm monetizing my brain. I'm monetizing my time to take that call with an individual. Then that loan closes, and then I use that money to buy 3 or 4 pieces of real estate that pay me on perpetuity. You know what I
I
mean?
love it. I
How are you
love
going to
it,
get an
man.
infinite return on your brain? That's what you're looking for.
You like work hard, work smarter, not harder. You know.
Yeah.
I know a topic that we wanted to drop in with was direct to seller marketing, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different sequences when it comes. Thanks for sharing that and answering those questions, man.
Yeah, buddy.
When it comes to like direct to seller marketing, um, I think there may be some misconceptions, that you have to work and grind, and yeah, obviously you got to do those things, but what have you experienced with direct to seller marketing? What advice would you give to somebody that is interested in direct to seller marketing?
I think a lot of people get lost in the numbers. It is a numbers game, but a lot of people don't like the initial the initial input of cash influx in like the cash that you have to drop in initially. I like direct to seller marketing because I can pinpoint and target the exact properties in which I want to buy, right? And having that touch with the seller, I might not buy the property, man. What if they want to sell for full market value? Well, I have a realtor that can take that lead and convert it into an MLS listing. I get paid off of that. Oh, this property doesn't fit my buy box, but I can get it under contract and wholesale it to somebody whose buy box it fits. There's exit strategy number 2. I can take this property down and flip it. That's 3. I can buy it, rent it, and hold it. That's 4. Or I can just buy it and rent it. That's 5. Or it can be an Airbnb, midterm, corporate rental, whatever you want. I like having that ability and option to go direct to seller, and it also yields a deeper deal for the majority of the time, right? You got to remember when you're buying a deal from a wholesaler, you're paying for their marketing. Why wouldn't you just market yourself? Then you can
Right.
then you can choose whatever deals you want, and they're generally going to be good deals. So people may not know this. A wholesaler generally is pricing their deal with rehab, if it's a flip, to be 75% of market value. Okay. That's the lending aspect of what wholesalers are doing. They're milking that deal up to that 75% threshold, and you're left with 25% cushion most of the time, right? If you go to direct seller, that thing, dude, it could be, for example, I bought a deal for 115 grand, right? I put $15,000 into it. It appraised and is under contract to sell for 330 grand 4 months later. Now, if a wholesaler got that deal, I would have bought it for 250. I would have put 15 grand into it. Yeah, 275. We'll push it up a little bit. We're buying for 275. I'm putting 15 into it. I'm all in for 3. It's worth 350. I make 50K. Actually, I don't even make 50K because you got realtors, listing fees, closing costs, front and back side carrying costs, whatever, right? Interest payments.
Yeah.
So I'm making 30 grand at best, 25 G's.
Yep.
Now I
Yep.
made 200. How much marketing does 200,000 buy you, bro?
A lot.
How
A
many
lot.
deals do you think you could get off 200 grand in marketing? It pays for
A
marketing
lot.
forever, man. That's why
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so adamant about pushing that direct seller stuff, you know?
What type of marketing are you doing now? Like in regards to direct to seller, like what does the team look like? Is it small? Is it larger?
Dude, it's automated. I'm a one-man show, brother. It's automated, man. And
I love it.
and being W2 forced me to get creative with automation. How can I scale with the time that I have now? I don't need to hire, right? I haven't figured out how to hire yet, Tyson.
It's a pain in the butt.
It's a
It's a
pain in the butt. It really is.
Honestly, I got to share this. When it comes to people, I think that's the most incongruent factor with performance and measuring KPIs is the human element, right? The human error, the human emotion. You know, I'm a huge fan of automation and systems. They do take a while to get in place, but once they do and they're dialed in, man, sky's the limit.
Yeah, and that was important for me, man, because my time was already stretched as it was. If I had the ability, and anybody that's W2, if you have the ability to market with only spending a couple hours of your time a week above and beyond, I mean, that's why wholesalers exist, because the W2 workers that are buying these wholesale deals or MLS deals, they don't know about this stuff because nobody's told them, you know? I think it's just such a powerful tool. I'm using postcards and mailers to your question earlier.
Great.
They're very unique. I would shamelessly plug. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to, but
Go ahead, man. Plug away, dude. I'll put it in the comments down below too.
Yeah, the company that I use is called Ballpoint Marketing, and dude, Ryan Dossey's a wizard with what he's doing with all his marketing and stuff. My last mail campaign, I made 330 grand on off of 3,200 mailers. Like, wow. I don't even know what the ROI on that is, bro. You know what I mean?
That's great. You know, with mailers, they're so predictable over the course of time because you understand how much you got to spend to get a return. You know, it's really
dude, I love that. You're finding it's KPIs.
Mm-hmm.
You're finding what is your cost per acquisition? Oh, I have to send 3,500 mailers. That costs me $2,600, right? And I'll get one deal. I want to buy 10 deals. Now we know we have to spend $27,000 or 20, whatever the math is, you know? Right. Oh, 10 deals. Right. And the average profit margin in a deal should be 25% of the purchase price or 25% of the after value, right?
Right.
So you could see how far that goes.
Yeah. I love that, man. Have you noticed a shift in regards to the buyers when you're doing wholesale transactions? Have you been picking up more? Because on our side, we've been picking up more. Some of the buyers are kind of timid, but I feel that will change in the next, I think by Q1, end of Q1, I think.
I'll tell you something. So every deal that comes through my direct mail pipeline that I can personally figure out how to take down to make money on, I'm taking it down. I have not wholesaled one lead from my direct mail marketing. I take down everything.
I love it.
Just because, why am I giving away profit, man? I'll figure it out. I got a team there. Like, that's the challenge of real estate. Like, figure it out. Don't get comfortable. Operate being uncomfortable. Obviously safely, but operate being uncomfortable. That's where you're going to learn the most, you know?
Man, I love that, dude. I love that. It sounds like your risk adversity is, like you're open to taking risks and,
calculated
within reason,
Yeah. And one thing I'll touch on too, real quick. My hard money lending background allows me to talk to hundreds of investors across the entire country. And this is going to be a huge mindset shift for a lot of people. They got used to operating in a market where you could not lose, and now you're in a market where it's hard to win. And people are freaking out, bro. They bought these 80%, 90% leverage deals, and now they're upside down, or they have 80, 90 days on market time. They bought everyone got into this Airbnb craze too. I'm seeing a ton of this right now, bro. Oh, we bought Airbnbs at market value in so and so area, right? What's your exit strategy if nobody's vacationing? You can't sell the deal. You're underwater on it. The only equity in the deal is your own cash. You can't rent it because DSCR loan won't work on it because you bought it way above what market rents would support it with. What's your exit? Now you're gonna bleed. And It sucks. But this is why 1% of people are successful at real estate. Or whatever the metric is. I'm sure it's really low.
Man, it's so funny because I never really got into Airbnbs much because it's a whole nother business. It requires a whole nother set of operations, cleaning, repairs, all this other stuff. And there's been a couple times we did some corporate rentals, but those are more consistent. And I think my personal experience with Airbnbs, even with corporate rentals, is the money goes up, but also the headache goes up too.
Absolutely.
And then I'm really big on like reducing headache. I'd rather not have a headache and make okay money than like have a massive headache and try to navigate through a bunch of money. So
yeah, I love that, man. And that's not, listen, that's, if you're one of those people I just described, that's not a jab at you. You are learning, you are going to the school of hard knocks. Like you are getting a real estate degree right now. You're trying to figure out how to get rid of this property or how to make it work, rent by room, whatever you got to do. Make the property work. Don't get a sour taste in your mouth. Wait for the market to bounce back. Only buy what your appetite is. You're going to readjust your buy box now. I can guarantee you that. And make sure you have capital stacked up for stuff like this.
Yep. So tell me a little bit about your investment strategy, coming from a hard money lending perspective and like kind of what you're seeing across the US, and then also your personal investment strategy. Are you buying deals, are you wholesaling deals?
Yeah.
We kind of already touched on it, but yeah.
I'm still buying, bro. I'm always buying. I love one of my really close real estate investor buddies. He told me, he's like, dude, you have to you can't just shut down. You have to learn how to operate in this environment, right? What I'm telling people is analyze your deals, take the worst case scenario. So take a worst case scenario. So if you're looking at a property in the profits, 20%, 30%, whatever, shave 10% off that. And then add 10% to your rehab budget and holding costs. And if you're still able to hit your target net profit, then it's a deal. But don't just focus on one exit. Will this property also cash flow at an 8 or 9% interest rate? Because guess what? When you put that house on the market, it sits for 100 days and you're bleeding, you have to refi. And now it has to rent to make money to cover your mortgage. And guess what? Bank's appetite for risk right now, we want to see a 1.15 DSCR ratio on that property. And I'll explain that to your people. So
please.
Debt service coverage ratio, DSCR. The bank uses this equation, whatever you want to call it, right? It's all your expenses in the property, your mortgage, your principal, or your taxes, insurance, everything. And then how much the property will actually rent for. The rent has to be 15% more than your operating expenses to be a positive DSCR ratio. So above 1.00. Bank's appetite for risk right now is 1.15. That's where they want to see it. A lot of people in their investments are not cash flowing at 1.15. So when they refinance, they're actually having to bring cash to the table to under leverage the deal more for the bank to pick it up as an asset.
Yeah.
It's dude, I'm seeing it. It's hella unfortunate, bro, because I can't help. What do you do? I can't help. I can refinance it for you, but you're going to be at an 8.5% interest rate, and according to this,
60 grand out of pocket.
yeah, you're coming to the table with 48 grand. And they're like, what the hell? You got 48 grand. What do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
It's tough.
So such valid points, man. Have you noticed a slowdown in regards of lending opportunities or, willingness to lend? Because we've experienced some individuals that are doing some more risk assessments and, just underwriting the deal just a little bit more definitively.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Absolutely, bro. And I personally underwrite almost every client that comes through my portal. If they have a deal, they're bringing me a deal. We sit down and we underwrite it together. Worst, best. We're looking at all the factors. Is this a deal? And please, if you're a newer investor, get pre-qualified and your funding lined up first. If you are interested in getting a deal under contract, get pre-qualified with that deal under your parameters, right? Do not go under contract on a property to then find out that the property is a crap deal. Because now you lost your earnest money, because I guarantee you waived your inspection period and your appraisal, probably. There's no way to get out of that contract unless you contest or get your earnest money deposit back unless you contest it.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
And if I can't fund your deal, what are you going to do?
It's absolutely true, man. It's absolutely true. It's unfortunate because I see a lot of individuals do that. And, in this market, I think just the way that we've shifted, man, is, we got to buy deeper. We have to make sure that our rehabs are dialed in. So we're spending a little more on rehab. And then we're very picky. We're very picky. We just backed out of a few deals because it just wasn't going to work anymore. And they were longer escrows. We have a couple of short sales that are working that I'm going to get reevaluated. Those are great. Those honestly, man, like the short sales worked really good when we were in appreciating market because we would get the appraisal at the beginning of the short sale. And by the end,
you're like, oh my God, I made 100 grand.
Yeah, it's like super great, and then we didn't even have to do anything to it. But, in this kind of market, we just have to be more cautious and then just know the numbers, and expect longer hold times and then willing to give up some seller contributions if needed, It all has to be calculated.
And knowing your market too, bro. What infrastructure exists in your market that could take a recession without having an economical factor on values of homes? What's the median? So a lot of people don't get in the weeds like this too. I noticed they're just like, oh, the ARV is this. Okay. What justifies that ARV if we go into a recession? We have average annual salary for this area is 55 grand, but your ARV is 700,000. Who's going to afford that? Is the $55,000 is 80% of the population here. Your 20% buying market, they're not buying right now. So who are you selling to?
Right.
Know who your audience is, man. That's what we've really honed in on. And that's what I've been super cautious too about buying and stuff in my market as well, is the medium list price of properties in St. Petersburg and Clearwater is around that 400,000 area. So we buy at or below that. And we stay in that average.
I love that, man. Man, this was actually an incredible, insightful conversation for myself. I took down some notes, man. I do, man. I really appreciate you hopping on and sharing your knowledge regarding hard money lending and your experience. I received a lot of gems. I hope you guys received a lot of gems as well. Brother, if you're open to sharing where people can find you, I know you mentioned that you're doing coaching and mentorship. Where can they find that? And then I'll place all that information in the description below. so then people can reach out to you directly. So this is your time to completely plug away, man. Plug
Yeah.
away hard money lending, all that stuff.
No, I appreciate it, bro. And again, thank you for having me on, man. I hope I wasn't too harsh. I hate the fluff that people kind of put on these conversations, and they're like, oh, it's not that bad. It is that bad.
It is that bad.
If you can take a nugget from me and be like, oh shit, we were gonna buy that Airbnb property at $500,000 at market value. And he's right. We don't have an exit if it doesn't Airbnb right. You know what I mean? I hope I save somebody. Dude, one of my mentees was under contract on a $1.3 million triplex. I was going to net them $300 a month. How do you justify that? Your cash on cash return is almost negative with inflation. It probably is negative with inflation. And you're out of pocket $270,000.
The headache.
Dude. So
the headache.
That was a hard money lending client that came through, and just based off of what she told me about the property, without seeing numbers, I told her to run, bro. And they ran. They pulled escrow, and they got their money back, and they ran. And now they're buying a property through me in St. Petersburg that's going to cash flow about $1,100 a month.
Man, I heard St. Pete's the fire, man. I heard St. Pete's.
Don't you come to my market, bro. We might have to team up and get some stuff going.
Yeah,
but listen,
I'm totally down.
Yeah. Let me plug. So Tony Michael REI on Instagram. I'd appreciate you guys just shoot me a follow. If you're interested in the coaching program, I hand select. I don't really market this. I hand select the people that I work with. Shoot me a message in my DMs just saying, hey, I want some more information about the coaching program. I'll send that over to you. And then for hard money lending, hit me an IG. I'm super responsive on IG. If I send you somewhere, it could get tossed to another loan processor, and you're not going to get taken care of like I can with you. So IG is probably the best way to get a hold of me, and it's Tony Michael REI.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll place all the descriptions of what you were just saying right now down below. Tony, man, I really appreciate you hopping on, man, and sharing your abundance of knowledge. I love the vibe. I love the energy, man. I look forward to our future conversations, brother. Like truly, I appreciate you having on.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's roll the outro.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I have tremendous gratitude for our guests and you listening now for joining our mission of democratizing real estate education around the world. If you want to learn more from our experts, our mission, and get involved, then please visit realestateexperts.org to get started. Who knows? You might even be a guest on a future episode.
Bro, that was great, man. Dude, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, dude.
It's so dope, man. Dude, I love connecting with you, man. I'm actually looking forward to doing a deal with you, man.
I got plenty, bro. I'm a straight shooter, bro. So when I get so like, bro, these people are just feeding bullshit in mass amounts on like, I hope it was refreshing for your audience to hear somebody who's just like, don't fucking do this, please. You are going to get burned. Make sure you're tracking your numbers. Make sure you're buying deep. Make sure you're buying the right deal. Analyze your market. Like, these are all foundational stuff that over the last 2 years has been gone. Nobody does it anymore. Just buy fucking real estate. In the last 2 years, you were making money. Nobody cares. Yeah. Look at the realtor listings and how they changed, dude. Bro, the realtors used to just post the fucking, just a house, a photo of a house, not even the inside of the property. And you had fucking 13 showings and 12 offers over asking. Like, now you have to do open houses and give seller concessions. Now we're getting back to a pre-COVID market, and people don't know how to operate in that. It's crazy, dude. So yeah, I just like, cracking that fucking whip, man.
Dude, it's facts, man, and it's actual facts, because here in Vegas, like we kind of like tailhead anything that's going on in the market moving forward, and we've had significant amount of appreciation, and it is depreciating faster.
Look at 08 metrics for Vegas, bro.
08 metrics from Vegas,
dude. It was fucked. I have a buddy, Travis. He's one of my Marine military buddies. He lost everything in '08. Everything. It was the fastest appreciating market in the country. Vegas was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
insane,
and I think we're hitting that. You know, we're
hope
knocking
not,
down
bro.
some appreciation too. But you know, I the past 2 years, people were able to make money without actually doing shit.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the next 2 years will definitely define the individuals that were actually doing shit and people that are able to reinvent themselves.
I don't think people understand that if you buy now and you're able to make the numbers work on 2 out of 3 exit strategies, one being equity to sell, right? 2 being able to perform as a DSCR, and then the third one would be Airbnb, corporate, or midterm rentals. If you can hit 2 out of those 3 exits, you're good. When interest rates come down, your cash flow increases, right? Don't change your cash flow variance. If you need $500 a month and that wets your fucking whistle, then stay at $500 a month. Don't feel obligated to buy a shit deal because you got to move money or you got to buy real estate or you got a FOMO, whatever. Now is not the time to be impulse buying. Make sure you're hitting your it's bewildering that people are forgetting the foundation. That's what when you stray away from that, that's what screws you.
Man, super dope, man. Yeah, brother.
I'm not preaching to you.
No.
Helmet fire, bro. It's just like, bro.
Dude, you're sharing, man, and I'm absorbing, man. So
no, I appreciate you, dude.
Bro. I appreciate you doing this for me and you know, sharing with the audience. This should be out, I think, in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
We'll edit it out and things like that. But yeah, man.
Do little
I'll share it with you in the drive.
Yeah, do little reels and stuff too if you can, and just
yeah, for sure.
Collab on them.
Yeah, I'll send you the raw footage and then we can jam out from there, man. But bro, like I'd love to connect with you more, man. I'll shoot you a ping here. I think maybe tomorrow or the next day, and then you know maybe we can set up a chat, man.
Yeah, brother. Appreciate you, man. Have a good night.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate you too, man.
Yeah.
Have a blessed day, bro. All right, later.
You too, brother.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I have tremendous gratitude for our guests and you listening now for joining our mission of democratizing real estate education around the world. If you want to learn more from our experts, our mission, and get involved, then please visit realestateexperts.org to get started. Who knows? You might even be a guest on a future episode.
If you like this video and you enjoy this type of content, go ahead and click right here to see more.